Welcome to the part of the course where we're going to show you guys how to make a basic project, which will allow us to walk through some of the basics of setting up the machine and talk about all the things that we've covered up to this point. So I've made this really cool coffee table based on a leaf. So here it is, and you can see the assembly of it. So we're not going to go through how I designed this. I will show how to export the parts of this file, because you can use this information to do all the other projects that we have available on Onshape. So we'll have all the files available, both as to make it easy, you can just like set it up on the machine and go. And you can also access this file directly, make edits, change the size, change the height, change the thickness, all the things that you want to modify it in case you want to make a different size table. In terms of the software that we're going to be using to generate the G-code, I'm going to show you how to use Easel for a couple of reasons. One, it's probably the most easiest one to start off with. And second of all, there's a free option, which we'll be able to use for this whole project. This is Easel here. You can go to easel.inventables.com. I'm going to sign into our account. And I'm going to just start a new project. All right, so we have this project open. I'm just going to call it Leaf Coffee Table. There is a pro version, which I believe is about $20 per month. And it does add a couple different features, but for the sake of this tutorial, you won't need to use any of the advanced features. And if you're looking for some of the advanced features, you may be able to find it in non-paid software that isn't Easel. So make sure to check out our resources page about the software, which gives us a full list of all the things that the softwares can do, and you can pick and choose which ones make sense. All right, the first place we're going to go to is the materials here. In here, we can choose the size of the material. So right now it's set to 12 inches by 8 inches by 0.5 inches. I have a couple of sheets of plywood here that I'm going to use. These are scrap from a different project. So I just need to measure them out and then put them here, which will give me context on how big the part will be compared to the size of the material. Here's my first piece of material. I'm just going to use my tape measure to measure the size of the material. So in this case, we got, looks like about 23.5 by 20 inches. So I'm going to add that to my thing. 23.5 by, I can't even remember the, well, I think it was 20. I'm like a goldfish. Okay, 20 inches. And the thickness, I believe, is half an inch. Is 0.5 inches. Cool. In Easel, you'll also be able to choose the material that you're using. The reason this might be useful is that Easel has some presets set up for the cutting speeds. However, this cutting speeds are really, really slow. I will talk about the feeds and speeds that you can use, which we have default settings for different bits that we sell on the store that are designed specifically for the long mill. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'll just leave it as birch plywood because that is what it is. The other thing that you want to choose is where your XY 0 point is. So in this case, it has the bottom left corner. So what that means is when we start the machine, where the starting point is going to be on the bottom left corner. And we'll cover that again once we get to that point. So you can see there's a visualization of what the material looks like. And this is a 2D view as well. So I'm going to go back to Onshape. I'm going to go to the file here. And what I'm going to do is click on the surface that I want to export. In this case, I'm going to cut out the top of the coffee table. I'm going to right click and then export as DXF DWG. If you're not familiar with what a DXF is, a DXF is a vector file. It's basically a system of coordinates that gives you the shape of the design. It's different than a bitmap image like a JPEG, where it's a collection of pixels that combine into an image. And the reason why we use vector files is because if you scale them up or shrink them down, they won't lose their resolution. That's all looking okay. I'm going to press export. and save that. So if I go to easel, I should be able to import a DXF, upload, select my file, download, and upload. And now you can see a preview of the file that we selected. Looks good. Import. And now you got our leaf here. It looks like my wood is not the right size for this, so I will get, magic will happen. I'm going to grab a bigger piece of wood and we'll do that part. But in the meantime, I'm also going to export the bottom part of this, so I can hide the tabletop, and this is the bottom. Right click, export as DXF DWG, export that. And I'm also going to export the leg. And just so you know, this project will need 4 of these legs, and all 4 of the legs are the same. So I'll right click, export as DXF DWG, and save that. The way that I've designed this is good for if you have different sheets of material. With Onshape, what you can do is make an account for free. If you have a link to this file, you can save your own version of it, which will let you modify it. And I have this variable here, which is the thickness, 0.5 inches. You can double click on this and change it to any thickness that you want, and it'll automatically adjust the dimensions of the file. I also have a variable that allows you to change the height of the legs. So if you like, you can play around with those. And obviously the other parts here, you can also adjust the scale of these different parts as well. So, you know, go crazy if you like. Jumping back into easel, I'm going to also import the leg and the top part, or the bottom half of the top part. So import the leg. For the cut path, I should have set it to outside because I want the outside perimeter to be cut. And I can change this later, so it doesn't really matter. And I'll explain how the cut path matters. But in this case, I'll just import this.